right now, you can lock in 30 days of any NBA or college basketball plays, including 5% best bets released from your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper for just $6.63 per day. A 30-day NBA pass is priced at $189 and a 30-day college basketball pass at $189. But you can get both for only $199. To take advantage of this special offer, just go to WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. Choose your favorite handicapper and lock in all basketball action for the next 30 days. Even better, there's no limit to how many handicappers this offer can be redeemed on.
All right, and away we go. It is the college basketball tip-off show. It is powered by WagerTalk.com, and we are ready to go. 4 games on tap here today. We're going to cover with you, including Kansas, OU, Wisconsin taking on Michigan, a little Big Ten action. How about the ACC? Somebody's watching it. Duke taking on Tech, and a little SEC action here. Alabama taking on the University. They still play basketball at Kentucky? I don't even know. But let's welcome in our distinguished panel of handicappers here today. Again, one of the best-looking groups you will see anywhere on YouTube. Tony Mejia, Ralph Michaels, Rob Vino stepping in here today, fresh off his clean sweep in the NBA tip-off show yesterday. Here are the Twitter handles, guys. This is how you can go ahead and reach them. Tony Mejia, Ralph Michaels at Cal Sports LV, Tony being at Mejia Dinero, and Rob Vino is at Rob Vino Sports. And guys, let me start. Tony, it's been a week since we last seen you, my man. How has it been going since the last time you're on the show? And what, if anything, do you have going on at Wager Talk right now?
I mean, it's been okay. I finished off a successful college football season. I finished #1 at Wager Talk with Alabama and a 5% play yesterday. I think I'm 2-0 on 5% plays since last I saw you, but tough sledding otherwise. I mean, NBA has gone brutally. College, I've been, I think, probably 50-50. So, you know, now that the gridiron's done, not that I haven't been focusing on hoops, but time to get this going, ramping up.
Time to get it ramping up. That sounds like actually a good strategy there. Rob Vino, welcome in, my man. College basketball. Ralph, is this correct? Is this his first shot on the college basketball tip-off show? Is that correct?
We've got a virgin. I was the virgin on the NBA show yesterday, and Rob's first trip today. So we got to make sure we give him some crap.
I love it. Well, Vino knows better than that. He already knew it, whether it was first or last time on. He's going to get crap anyway. Rob Vino, how you been, brother? How's your college basketball? What do you got going on today at Wager Talk?
Yeah, in college basketball, Joe, I have taken it extremely easy right now. I think only 18 plays to date, hitting a little better than 55.5% of those plays. So we're profitable so far, even though slow. But I think the season, the way it has been so staggered, I let it go for a while to see what was going to happen here. We still have, conferences that are just getting into maybe their second or third game overall. So right now we're picking it up. Last night we didn't play any college hoops. NBA was good. College football was good. Last night had the total both half and game, so that worked out well. Close college football. They got a 44-25 run. So the last 6-7 weeks of college football were terrific. So yeah, things are going good, and we'll look forward to being on board here once a week and putting up more college hoop plays.
Love it. All right. And, of course, Ralph Michaels. And good news for Ralph today. The number 333rd team, I think Mississippi Valley State playing today, Ralph. So I know where your best bet's going to be, my friend. How are you?
You joke about that. I got people on Twitter asking me how many from the bottom am I picking? So, well, we had a cancellation last time. So still 2-0 on my bottom feeder best bets, those teams in the 300s. Guess what? I do have a team in the 300s today. So stay tuned. Went 2-1 yesterday, won the football game over first half, won the NBA play, but lost my college basketball play. But, it's one of those losses that you just have to take with a grain of salt. Prairie View is not a good shooting team. They 8 of 11 3-pointers in the first half. So, you shoot like that and you're down 16. Those are just games you have to write off. You're not going to lose. It's one of those anomaly games that, you have to keep handicapping with what got you there. So I did take the L in my college basketball play.
Yeah, that's good. I'm still waiting for Utah to score in the second half right now. So anytime you're ready, Utah, you want to take the first 7 minutes off and not score a point in the second half, be my guest. I got the over. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at some of those past performances from just 24 hours ago. Check out some of those top performances, as a matter of fact. Without a doubt, Boise State, Ralph, we talked about this game yesterday on the show. We knew Boise State, they got it rolling. They can score. There were some questions about some defense, but at the end of the day, when you got two guys that make the top performers list at Boise State, you know how that turned out.
Yeah, I mean, there were only 7 games, so let's put that in perspective. But, when a guy with 12 points is making the list, but the 14 rebounds is impressive. Wyoming, they come in 11-1. They're going to be favored in every game they play into the last 2 games of the season against San Diego State. So, Leon Rice thinks this team really can run through the Mountain West Conference and win the conference. So, talented group, and they're led by Marcus Shaver, who their point guard, who missed a couple games as well. So when he's back and healthy, they will be a very strong team.
And, of course, some of the covers there yesterday, some of the biggest covers from the day. Again, it was a small, it wasn't a big card there yesterday, but, of course, that Colorado-Utah game there, Prairie View, Ralph talked about it, Boise State, Wyoming, a late game that turned out to be obviously a one-sided affair. Some of the overs and unders from last night, too. We'll take a look at those. And, there's that Bradley game yesterday, too, was interesting. Ralph, weren't quite sure which way that was going to go, the second end of a back-to-back, but when it was all said and done, it was a little bit more scoring than some people thought were going to be.
Yeah, and it was a game, remember, the line switched. Northern Iowa open favorite. Bradley went small favorite, came back down a little ways. So I think most people got Bradley with the cover with the 2-point win, and those that had the overs. So, Loyola Chicago back to their old ways, playing defense, and under by 31 points.
Connecticut kept it rolling, too, against DePaul, a little bit under. And like I told you, Utah still waiting for them to score in the second half of that game right now. But I digress. I do want to remind you guys right now at Wager Talk, the opportunity to grab 30 days all access, every college basketball play, every NBA play, any one of these gentlemen here. 30 days, $199 at WagerTalk.com. Just get there right now. No coupon needed. Go to their home pages there. Ralph Michaels, Rob Bino, Tony Mejia. Grab it. 30 days, all access. Every college basketball play, every NBA play they post is all yours. Gentlemen, let's start the Big Ten if we can here tonight. And let's look at Wisconsin taking on Michigan. And Rob Bino, I'm going to start with you because let's face it here. We heard a lot about the non-conference schedule of Michigan this year. I think it was number 194, 195 in the country. Wait until they get to Big Ten play. Well, here we are in conference play, and they still haven't lost. They're steamrolling teams here. It is a 3.5 number, 135. I'm starting to see there's not a lot of movement one way or the other so far in this game. But when you put these two teams together, how do you have this game measured up?
Well, I think the way Michigan has developed, Joe, to me, the number one key in this game is going to be the center matchup, right? I mean, Hunter Dickinson's been a beast. Michigan's found a way. And when you have Juwan Howard as your head coach and you're a big man, you should improve just from that alone. But when a kid is shooting 73% from the field, that's difficult. And he's able to pass out of whatever defenses have been thrown at him so far this season. I think this matchup is a little bit different. Generally speaking, for the majority of the season, he hasn't really faced an anchor in the paint that matches up size-wise with him. Now, tonight, Wisconsin's going to go with a little combination deal here as far as covering him is concerned. You'll see Micah Potter, who obviously at 7 foot and about 245 has the size and strength to hang with Dickinson in the paint. At least that's what you would think. And they're also going to use a little bit of Nate Reavers, who said he hadn't seen much film on Dickinson yet, but he was working hard in the film room to see if he could find anything that would benefit him on the defensive side of the ball. I think, obviously when you talk about a matchup like this, Michigan throwing into the paint and then trying to get it back out to three-point shooters, when you have a couple of big men, you worry about foul trouble both ways. I don't know that Dickinson can stay out of foul trouble here, but then I don't know if Potter could stay out of foul trouble. I do know that running two different guys at him would probably help split fouls a little bit. So I think that Wisconsin provides a unique look to Michigan that they really haven't seen so far this year. Obviously, they play stellar defense. Obviously, they play a different style of defense, which will also affect Michigan somewhat, I think, in this game. Aside from the center matchup, and the fact that Potter may be able to pull Dickinson away from the rim a little bit because he's a good three-point shooter, I think when you look specifically at the three-point shooting, Wisconsin's got so many weapons from deep. I mean, it's easy to say guard the arc, but it's not as easy when you have five guys who shoot 36% or better. Some, because the way the season has gone, guys, some limited numbers there, but still five guys over 36% is a lot of shooters to have. Michigan, not the best three-point defense in the country right now. They're ranked number 229 as far as field goal percentage allowed from beyond the arc is concerned. Wisconsin doesn't turn it over. Michigan doesn't force turnovers. I think that could be another slight Wisconsin edge. The age obviously has been brought up a ton where Wisconsin is concerned, the oldest team in college basketball, older than, I think it's the Chicago Bulls of the NBA average age. I just think the points are worth taking here. We'll see. Michigan could burn me, but I think the points are worth taking here with Wisconsin, a veteran team.
He's not alone there, Tony Mejia. As I'm looking, I see 4 is an opening number. I'm seeing 3s in some places now as well. Could this be the first loss of the season for Michigan? Are you heading in that direction?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a proving ground game for both of these teams. Wisconsin really hasn't been tested outside of the Michigan State game on Christmas night, but they come off that overtime game against Indiana they should have won. And Micah Potter was pulled for the last 15 minutes of regulation because he was throwing a tantrum on the bench. He's got to step it up defensively. Rob mentioned it. He's going to be one of the two guys that is going to be tasked with stopping Hunter Dickinson. And you've got Reavers, who really did pull his weight against the Hoosiers in that comeback. But last year, these two teams faced off at Chrysler, and Dimitri Trice went 5 for 6 from three-point range. And I think that was the difference in that game. This season, it's going to be Michigan's toughest test yet, and the first true look at a pack line defense. And obviously the experience factor, the fact the Badgers are second in the nation in turnovers per game. I don't think they'll give Michigan an opportunity to get in a rhythm through easy baskets. So certainly when I'm touching this game, I'm going to take the points.
Yeah, I mean, KenPom, Ralph, it's got Wisconsin ahead of the Michigan team here. How close are they on your power rank?
I have them picked. So using a 2-point home edge for Michigan, I do have Michigan a couple points better. But in this matchup, I actually like Wisconsin. And, I'll give Hunter Dickinson all the love he wants. I mean, 7'1" freshman. But, I'll tell you what, you look at who Michigan has played. Okay, if you look at the bottom 4 teams in the Big Ten, we have Nebraska, we have Maryland, we have Northwestern, and Penn State. Guess who Michigan's played? Those 4 and Minnesota, and that's it. You talked about the non-conference schedule, and who they've played. Yeah, Wisconsin hasn't played a much tougher schedule, but the Michigan State team we know is better than anyone they face there. The Indiana team is better than anyone they face there. The Louisville team compares to all of those. At Marquette has had them prepared. And then you have this. You have Hunter Dickinson, who did face Liam Robbins and handled them against Minnesota. But Liam Robbins is not Micah Porter and Nate Reavers and Tyler Wall. This front line that Wisconsin has is going to be able to slow down Hunter. And I just think Wisconsin has the mentality to do it. I look at Michigan's games. Michigan has covered 7 of their last 8 games. The only close game they had was Penn State. That was a home game they failed to cover. And then they beat Oakland by 10 early in the year, laying 31. But I think the competitiveness having played the close games, having the senior leadership in Trice and Potter with point guard and center, I do like Wisconsin here.
I like Wisconsin here. This is going to be obviously the game of the night. I think a lot of people are going to be interested to see how this goes. Another game on the board here, and Tony Mejia, I'll start with you. Alabama taking on Kentucky, heading to Rupp Arena, and I don't think there's any doubt this is not the same old Kentucky team that we are used to seeing now. It opens up as Kentucky a 2-point favorite, total hovering around that 146 mark to open. Listen, Alabama wins the national championship last night. Alabama, the basketball team, is on a 5-game winning streak, really starting to put this together. We know they can score points here, but in your mind, can Kentucky keep up here?
They can, but we got our first look at Keon Brooks against the Gators, and he made a huge difference for Kentucky. Now, I just want to see whether with Nate Oates and his coaching staff knowing that he's going to be a part of things, whether he can be as effective. And the Cats had to wait till 2020 ended to actually start playing. They're 3-0 in 2021, and they've beaten some quality teams. They beat Florida in Florida, beat Mississippi State. That Vandy game, they got lucky there at the end. Being very fortunate that Vandy missed a shot late, and they were able to get a good look for the game-winning basket, really in the final 10 seconds. But to me, this Alabama team is very loaded, so it's going to be a great test. I'm going to wait to give you my prediction on this game because it's my best bet. But really looking forward to this one. And it's an interesting night in college basketball. We don't have a lot of games, but all the royalties playing: Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke. And I think Kentucky is going to be in for a big challenge tonight at home with limited fan base.
Interesting line movement here, Ralph. We're seeing a lot of money and the line moving towards Kentucky. Opened up -1, -2. I'm seeing -3s, 145 to 148. How do you have these two teams lined up? Anytime you're ready, Ralph.
Was that to me?
Yeah, that was, I think, right? Was it Ralph? Ralph it is. Yep, you got it.
Yeah, well, normally you say that, Joe. You're really, come on.
I'm fairly certain we can rewind the tape. There was a Ralph that came out there somewhere along the line.
I don't think so. I'm going to argue that one, but let's go to Rob. Rob, did he say Ralph in that or not? Okay,
I'm
here we go.
Play Switzerland here.
Yeah. You played yesterday too in the NBA show. Come on. Who would have thought?
With one L.
Who would have thought Alabama was 5-3, Kentucky was 1-6. So these two teams were combined 6-9, and now they're the only undefeated SEC teams combined 7-0. We know what Alabama's going to do. Nate Oates did it at Buffalo, fastest paced team. Nate Oates does it here in Alabama, one of the fastest paced teams. And the problem with Alabama is this. Yes, they come down and shoot. They play so fast on offense. They can play elite defense, but when they get too fast on offense, it really hurts their defense. So to me, I look at this Kentucky team. You mentioned Brooks played his first game. He missed the first 9, missed the last half of last season. But let's not forget, Fletcher also missed the last 4. Terrence Clark has missed the last 3. He started the first 3 and missed the last 3. So Clark is listed as questionable. Guys, this Kentucky team is going to be like the Kentucky team we're used to seeing. So get rid of that start, get it out of your head, and start looking at what this Kentucky team has done right now. Reading the Kentucky papers this morning, they had a student athlete pass away yesterday. He was a pitcher on the team. That's the kind of thing where a lot of the athletics, the basketball players knew him very well, and those type of things to me, you may think it's silly, but there's a lot of stock that I put into them when, teams have motivation to play, and then there's a second level of motivation to play. So off of that start, the embarrassing start, the world was against them. They turn it around. They dominate Florida. They're a team that, Alabama shoots as many threes as most teams, but their three-point percentage is only 210. They don't make them all. And then you look at Kentucky's three-point defense, it's on the decent side. It's in the top 80. I do like Kentucky here. I I think Alabama has not been tested on the road besides the Tennessee game, and that was a game where they shot very well. Tennessee had an anomaly game. So, when I say you weren't tested on the road, I mean you won that game by 8. So, yes, you played an excellent team, but you won it by 8, so you weren't tested late down the stretch. They were tested at home against Furman when they came from behind, but, it's not the same situation going on the road. This is only their second true they beat Auburn. So this is their third road game, but second in back-to-back with those couple days in between. I do like the Wildcats.
Like in the Wildcats, that's certainly where the money is going, Switzerland. So let's turn to you. Maybe you can decide which side of the fence you're going on for this game. Huh, Vino? Go on, talk to us, Rob Vino. 1V, 1E, 1N, 1O. Talk to us. How are you backing up in this game?
I'm glad you mentioned me by name at the end there, Joe, because you were passing it off to you, and I don't know who you is among the three of us. But I'll talk from a totals perspective, guys. We've seen this thing climb from 145 to 148. Obviously, two different tempos here. Alabama, we all know they're going to jack it up. And my feeling here is that Kentucky will go with them. Even though they're a slower paced team, I think you get caught up in this rat race a little bit. Now, the question becomes, can Kentucky score when they're running with Alabama? And my answer to that is yes. I think yes. Listen, Alabama, Ralph talked about the Tennessee game, but let's go to those two back-to-backs, Ole Miss and Tennessee, right? Ole Miss and Tennessee are two of your top defensive teams inside the SEC, if not nationally this year. I think adjusted defense, Ken Palm numbers place them both inside the top 20. Alabama, in one game they shot well, but the other game they didn't shoot well. It's simply pace that gets them to 82 points against Ole Miss, top-tier defensive team, and to 71 points against Tennessee, top-tier defensive team. So Kentucky can be an excellent defense. Alabama's going to get theirs. If you pencil them in between that, 72 and 76 mark, and you're looking at 148, and it's going to be a close game, I think you could, playing over early, the people who got it at 145, 146, I think very good plays. You start getting closer to 150, it gets more iffy, may come down to some free throw shooting in the end. But Kentucky certainly, Ralph talked about the guys that they've been missing all season long. Tony did as well, and the additions that they've gotten, and primary additions to that lineup here. But the schedule, if one team's been through the meat grinder, it's Kentucky. How many times did we have to listen to John Calipari slap himself in the head for scheduling the way he did? So they're well prepped. They played a lot of great teams nationally, shorthanded, no longer shorthanded. I think he might let the horses run with Alabama tonight. So maybe over is the way to go in that game.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be creeping up that way. Seeing a 3-point rise, 145 open. I'm seeing 148, 148 and a half right now. So I'm with you, Rob. I think we're probably going to get a few points. And Ralph is pointing his pen at me, which means he has something to say. Yes, Ralph.
Rob, and the guys, don't be afraid. Just like I talked about Kentucky, forgetting about their open numbers, Kentucky started the season with 7 straight unders. So you can't look at those numbers because the only game they topped 44% shooting was against Morehead State. If you look at the last 3 games, to back Rob's points, they scored 78 against Mississippi State, 77 against Vanderbilt, 76 against Florida. And in that Florida game, they shot 56%. The first time they had their star player back that played his first game. So big difference in Kentucky previous to now. Draw that line in there. And again, start this as the new Kentucky season.
Yeah, it's you're right, Ralph. 4-1 at home, by the way, to the under this season. Kentucky 8-2 on the season to the under. So interesting there. It seems the better they're shooting, maybe the better their defense is getting as well. So going to be a fun game. So is the ACC matchup we're going to get to here in just a minute between Duke and bitter rival as of late anyway, Tech. But I do want to remind you guys, Tony Mejia, Rob Vino, and Ralph Michaels, college basketball, NBA, 30 days, all access. Every time they post a play in those two sports, you get the plays. It's that simple. 30 days, $199 right now at WagerTalk.com. Just head to Rob's page, head to Tony Mejia's page, head to Ralph's page. Take advantage of it. Get a 30-day all access. Make college basketball and the NBA a very profitable start here to the 2021 new year. Now let's take a look at this Duke Va-Tech because I'm hearing it, Ralph. I'm hearing switch right now because it opened up as it looks like Va-Tech being a favorite here. I'm seeing 1.5s in a lot of places, but boy, that is switched now. We're like Duke is the favorite now, 1.5. Total hovering right around that 143 mark. That too has gone up. So I don't know, between these two teams, Duke obviously 3-game winning streak, playing better than what they did to start the season. How much do you trust Duke on the road here to get the job done? Ralph?
Well, okay. With Kentucky, we put the line a couple games ago. With Duke, I think we put the line today, starting a new season. I tweeted out this morning. I tweeted out Duke's starting lineups. Duke has started 6 different lineups in 7 games. They've had no continuity. They've been missing starters as well. Jalen Johnson's missed the last 3 games. He is upgraded to questionable. He did make the trip today. You look at Duke's season, just like Kentucky, they got off to an 0-4 ATS start, losing to Michigan State, losing to Illinois, not covering against Coppin State or Bellarmine. Then they beat Michigan State. They beat Notre Dame. Okay, so they get their rhythm. So what happens after Notre Dame? That was December 16th. We now fast forward to January 6th. So we have a 20-day period there they haven't played. They do beat Boston College. Again, it's a very methodical game. Not having played in 3 weeks, they get the win. Then Coach K is out against Wake Forest. They get another win, but don't cover. You know, if Jalen Johnson's back, I would be all over Duke today. I still think with him making the trip, they're going to be taking this to a different level. I am on this Duke team. Once they get another game under their belt and Jalen Johnson's back and they start the same lineup for 2 games, I have them circled where I will clearly be on them. I like them today. I didn't get to the window because of those uncertainties, but looking forward, they got Pittsburgh, Louisville, Clemson, and Miami. They got a run here where I think they're going to see some not only wins but covers.
Tony, Blacksburg's not an easy place to play, and they've got a couple of signature wins this being Va-Tech, kind of up and down, but they did beat Villanova. They beat Clemson. I don't know. How much do you trust Duke to go on the road at Blacksburg and take care of business tonight?
I trust them as far as I can throw the entire team. So, listen, Ralph, Coach Mike Krzyzewski came back on Saturday. So Shire coached the first game against Boston College, but Kay was actually back against Wake Forest. So this will be his second game back, and we'll see if they get Jalen Johnson back. But you mentioned BC and you mentioned Wake. Those teams are combined 0-8 in the ACC. So they really haven't played anybody since returning, and Krzyzewski suspended all the non-conference action. So this is a team that's been practicing amongst itself. Yes, Jalen Johnson would make a huge difference because it would help against Kevy Aluma and potentially keep Matthew Hurd out of foul trouble. But they're going on the road for this when Virginia Tech can actually play. So for my money, Virginia Tech is the player, not at all, because Jalen Johnson playing would scare me. He's a solid rebounder and probably their top recruit. It's a team that's growing up, but I'm with you in that Duke going forward would be a team to give me pause and play on. Duke tonight, they haven't been tested at all. And the other thing that's scary about this evening is that like Virginia Tech was able to dominate Notre Dame in the second half. They've got a kid, Jalen Cone, averaging 18 points off the bench over the last few games. So the Hokies really have some confidence in them. I think Mike Young gets the better of Mike Krzyzewski here because he's got a more seasoned group that at this point to this particular night it has far more confidence and experience based on what they've been able to do over the last few weeks because Duke hasn't done much.
Well, listen, Rob, you listen to Tony and he's trying to pick up the whole team and throw them, and that's not very far, but the money is coming in towards Duke. It flipped. It went from Va-Tech being a small favorite now to being a small underdog. So where's that money coming from in your eyes? Is it worth looking the other way?
Well, I feel like maybe I should just change my attire here into red and white stripes, the color of the Swiss flag, because I'll take a little bit of Ralph's side and a little bit of Tony's side here.
Good God.
Where Ralph's point is concerned about Duke and drawing the line as of today, I thoroughly agree. In my notes, I had written down team to watch late January on, because I think from the quotes I read, Duke is going to grow through the mid to late January into February. Tonight in particular, I might stick on Tony's side, where trust is a big word to use with them right now. Could they win the game? Of course they could win the game. Could the money be right going towards Duke? Of course it could be right. But to trust them thoroughly the way you'd want to trust a Duke team at this point in time, I don't know. I'll say this. Mike Krzyzewski said at this point in time, his team is more instinctive defensively than they are offensively, which I found as, when you go through the numbers, you wonder where he's coming from with that. But he sees them in practice every day. So you got to trust him. But their defensive numbers don't stand up right now when you go through them to think that that's a truthful quote. What I do know is that the Duke players say that in practice, they work extremely hard on offense at this point in time. I mean, this team, just to show you how far behind they are, and it's a good thing that Duke gets such talented athletes, because you're never that far behind. You're just looking for the cohesiveness and the continuity, which, as Ralph was pointing out, I think the two of us and Tony, maybe too, believe that it's going to build, because he said the same thing. But when you're having kids talk about, we're working on sets, we're working on actions, we're working on moving off the ball, that stuff by January 12th should be all settled. But because of the way the year is going, it's not with Duke. So the continuity at this point in time is not there, in my eyes, to go ahead and play Duke. I don't know that I want the Virginia Tech side either, but I'll say this. Duke inside ACC play right now is the worst 3-point defense in the league, allowing 42% from beyond the arc, which again kind of baffles me that Krzyzewski says they're better instinctively on the defensive side of the ball, because, I could point out a few of these numbers where it just doesn't add up. Virginia Tech hasn't been much better against the three, giving up 36%. Virginia Tech is 3-0 over the total in their 3 ACC games, their last 3. They get to 158 against Miami. They get to 144 against Louisville. They get to 140 against Notre Dame. All 3 of those go over, but we're talking about 141 here. So against that number, they'd be 1 short in the Notre Dame game. Duke 2-1 over the total, their last 3 ACC games, 165, 147, and again 140. To me, maybe the total's a little too low priced here, guys, at 141. I talked about bad defensive numbers with Duke. They're still working on offense, but Virginia Tech doesn't play the 3-point line that well, and they've given up points. So to me, if I'm going to take a shot in this game, it's going to be on over 141.
You mean, Rob, giving up 56.1% to Boston College is not good?
I mean, I'm not going to, say the coach is wrong. He's there every day, but when I looked at the numbers and read his quote, I started scratching my head a little bit. Just doesn't make sense.
BT, you said 3 straight over. BT, you said 3 straight overs in conferences. They've gone over 6 straight their last 6.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't want to count those MEAC games or whatever they were, but yeah, you're absolutely right, Ralph. It is 6-0 over the total for this team.
Well, was Clemson? Clemson was one of those 6. So Clemson was one of those 6 too. So I mean, you talk about a slow-paced defense. Of course, the Clemson total was 116.5. So a different perspective in this game.
Did we leave anything out? Because I'm fairly certain there isn't a damn rock left under this game we haven't turned over right now. And I know Ralph is definitely taking Coach K out for a Miller Lite when this game is over. That is for sure. All right, final game here, guys, that we want to go over. And I saved the best for last. Not really. Who are we kidding? Oklahoma State's never going to beat Kansas. Oklahoma State at home, Stillwater tonight, taking on the Jayhawks, who have rattled off 11 straight conference wins. If they beat Oklahoma State tonight, congratulations, Kansas. You set your own damn record. 2.5, it's climbing. I'm seeing 3.5. Total is also climbing. 143.5. I'm seeing 145s, 145s.5. And Tony, I'm going to start with you, my man. We were joking about this game prior. Listen, I would love nothing more than for Oklahoma State, Cade Cunningham and company to be able to take down this Kansas team in Henry Iba. But I don't know. I just don't trust them. Certainly defensively, I don't trust them to be able to handle this Kansas team. How do you have this game tonight?
Well, Joe, I mean, you know what happened against West Virginia,
Yep.
and to trust Oklahoma State against Kansas, even at home, you would need a significant rebound from that collapse. And beating Kansas State in their depleted state that they were, where they had, I think, 6 available players, they had COVID issues, injury issues, doesn't do it for me. So you got Marcus Garrett back. This is a game where Jalen Wilson looks up and says, "Oh, scouts are going to be watching this game, and I'm on the up." I mean, obviously they're going to be watching Cade Cunningham again, but Jalen Wilson can really make his name in this contest. Kansas they can beat your strength in numbers. I think Oklahoma State probably you're looking at one other guy that you can kind of count on. So unless the old adage of guys feeling more comfortable in their own building comes into play, Cade Cunningham is outmanned. So it's a short number. I think the fact that Kansas can ramp up the defense late in the second half and do the same things that West Virginia was able to execute in their comeback would scare me off of Oklahoma State completely. And while I respect Cade Cunningham, he is one of the top 3 players in this country in the college level. I'm going to go with strength in numbers, and I think the Jayhawks significantly have an edge here.
Yeah.
Top 3.
Yeah. Well, where do you have
Cunningham,
him, Ralph?
top 3.
Yeah. Where do you
I
have
have
him?
them 4. I have them 4. I don't know
Oh,
what the hell he's
Christ.
talking about. Top 3.
Get him
Jesus
off of
Christ,
Ralph.
are you high?
Rob Vino,
You know he's gonna
where's
be the number 1
Switzerland?
pick, right?
Oh my God, he's throwing bombs from the number 4 spot. All right, Rob Vino, let me ask you a question. We just watched, I think they dropped, 93, 94 points on TCU. I'm interested if this number opened up at 143.5. Tony just talked about defensive issues, certainly at Henry Iva at home there. This seems like a short number, even at 145 right now. How are you approaching this game?
Yeah, it's interesting, Joe, because we talked about Alabama. Although they don't shoot a high percentage from the field, their games score a lot of points because the tempo is crazy, right? And Oklahoma State's not quite Alabama, but it's the tempo that pushes their games up and over the total, because in 5 Big 12 games so far this season, Oklahoma State defensively has held 4 of those 5 teams to 41.5% shooting or less. They're playing good defense. Despite what the narrative about them might be, the numbers suggest they're playing very good defense. They can score a little bit. So with Cunningham, their games have somehow gotten to 153, 151, 159, 171, and then the 124 against, as Tony mentioned, a completely depleted K-State team where it looked like Cade Cunningham actually took himself out of that game to become just a plain distributor rather than a scorer in that contest. He may get back to scoring here tonight, or may want to, against Kansas. But, the adjusted tempo for this team is number 57. Kansas at times goes 5 guards, so you could see a bit of a track meet developing, to your point, Joe, where over is concerned and how the money has pushed upward in this game. But what Bill Self would rather do, reading quotes from him, is he would rather have David McCormick on the floor and throw the ball down low, where Kansas really could create a huge edge, which would be on the boards. Rebounding, they're going to be the superior team here. I want to make one point about Cade Cunningham, just because I have a good friend of mine who's an Oklahoma State alum and is very, very close to the program. And I was talking to him last night, and he told me that Cade Cunningham, at this point in the season, January 12th, however many games in Oklahoma State is, I don't have their schedule in front of me to know their total games. But he told me that at this point, he's starting to struggle with the physicality in college basketball. And Kansas is going to certainly present a physical element here tonight. I mean, all eyes are going to be on Cunningham. Tony mentioned there's not a lot of support for him on the offensive end. So you can expect Kansas and Bill Self to throw a bunch of stuff at Cunningham here and bang on him and see if they can take him out of his game. I thought that was pretty interesting. I think the pace will be there to get up and over this total. Again, even with really good defense on both sides, there may be enough opportunities at the basket. I didn't play it. I don't know that I will. I think if I had to play side or total, I'd prefer Kansas minus the points here. I just think that the 40 minutes might wear on Cunningham, and unless he has an out-of-this-world game tonight, I don't think they can come within 4 of Kansas.
Going to be interesting to see how this plays out here tonight. And to Tony's point, once you get past Cunningham too, there's not a lot of the well kind of runs a little bit dry there at Oklahoma State when it comes to offense. So as much as I want to hit the over, if Cunningham, to your point, Rob, is getting a little banged up there and it starts to go sideways, who else on Oklahoma State is going to be able to pick up the slack offensively? It's a tough game. But again, number 12, Kansas. They set their own record for the amount of conference wins here. It's been a while for them. That would be number 12, especially on the road. All right, it's time for our best bets here. Before we get to that, we also have
again
gold shit.
Again.
What?
Can I make a comment about this game or not?
Oh, you noticed
just like the NBA show.
Well, no, because
Jesus Christ.
When you jumped in about number 4 and when you busted Tony's
that was it.
About being number 3, you almost got run over. Go ahead.
In the NBA show, you give a minute shot clock. I say one thing that takes up 5 seconds and I lose my frickin' turn. All right.
Hey, Ralph, what do you think of this game tonight?
I want to ask you this. For those that don't know, Joe is an alum. Joe is a Cowboy. So did they get down to you in the alumnus to make sure they got Cade Cunningham by giving his dad a job?
Yeah. Well, the reason they're not playing in any postseason games is thanks to me. So kiss my ass, Rob. Go ahead. Answer the damn question. Are they playing or not playing?
You know what? I will say this. I do like the defense Oklahoma State has played. I think Cade Cunningham right now is hurting that defense because he throws up a lot of threes. He's not shooting very well from the three. He's getting his points with a lot of shots. But the point I wanted to make is just what concerns me is both Flowers and Moncrief are listed as questionable. Flowers has started 7 games. Moncrief has started 3 games and played all 10 and started 3 of the last 4. So with both of those guys questionable, be very careful. See if you get some late info if those guys are game time decisions or scratches tonight if you want to back the Oklahoma State side.
It's going to be it is a great night of college hoops, though, guys. It really is. You get a little bit of everything here, a lot of blue bloods in action, and it's going to be interesting to see at this part of the season where some of these teams that we think are really good, where are they at this point? And I got to tell you, with the Gold Sheet, our friends at Gold Sheet have an interesting play up on the board here today, and I believe it's the Davidson-St. Joe's game. There it is. Our friends at the Gold Sheet doing a great job. For those of you that don't know Tony Mejia, of course, you register with the Gold Sheet. You will absolutely see Tony's plays from time to time in there, breaking down games for you. And I believe, Ralph, they like Davison in this game tonight.
Yeah, they had a winner with UConn last night. So, Tony, I'm going to put you on the spot. Was UConn your play yesterday or Davidson today?
Neither of those. But
okay,
UConn
so
got very lucky with James Booknight, missing another game. They were able to. They were in that. DePaul was in that game throughout, so UConn was able to pull away late. And I happen to know that St. Joe's is one of the Gold Sheet's teams to pick on because they've really fallen off a cliff. You know my affinity for Bob McKillop. So even though this is not my game, I'm in total agreement with that.
Total agreement.
So I will post that on Twitter, guys, so you can read the entire write-up. You can see the new Gold Sheet format. Gold Sheet play of the day, Davidson. It'll be on my Twitter at CalSportsLV right after the show.
I love it. All right, let's go best bet time here. And Ralph, since we ignored you and you didn't butt in there right at the end, go ahead. Come on, my friend. Tell us, what is your bet? It's going to be team number 365. What you got tonight?
So for those that know, I love looking at those bottom feeders and using the best bets. Today, I am using game 323, Northern Illinois, but I'm using them in a total. Do note that it is an early game. It is 3:00 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching this live, you're the only ones that can get it in because it tips off at noon p.m. Pacific. Under the total, Akron and Northern Illinois.
Wow, I'm looking at that number right there. It went up a little bit, 134.5. 134.5. So I'm seeing out there. So jump on it, guys. You still got some time here. Rob, Vino, my friend, you played Switzerland card very well here today, but now it's time to crap and get off the pot, they say. Who you going with? Best bet, my man.
Yeah, we talked about it already thoroughly, Joe. I'm going to use Wisconsin plus the 3.5 points here. I think that's a number worth taking here with this team. We'll see if Michigan gets the best of me or not, but I'd side with the veteran club in Wisconsin. For the remainder of my time, I'll just say this, Joe. I'll go off the rails just a hair here and say that if I had known that you are an alum of Oklahoma State, I wouldn't have wasted so much time going out and making another friend who went to Oklahoma State to get inside information. I could have just come to the source and gotten the same stuff I got from, this guy had to go out and try and befriend.
Oh, well, you have the balls to call Raineri a friend? God bless you.
You see what you started here, Michaels? You see why I skipped your ass? Now you know why I skipped your ass. Tony Mejia, give me this damn guy. I can't wait to hear your take on this Alabama-Kentucky game. I know it's your best bet, so lay it out for us. Which way you going here tonight?
Well, Auburn dropped Sharif Cooper from the sky on Alabama the morning of, and he played pretty well, except for taking a few ill-advised shots late. And Alabama actually blew that cover. I think it pushed with the closing number. I had it at 4, so I got screwed. But Alabama was able to withstand multiple runs from the Tigers. And I just think they have too much for Kentucky at this point. Kentucky has a ton of talent. Olivier Sarr, the Wake Forest transfer, really hasn't picked it up until lately. They just got Brooks back. Boston is shaky from the perimeter. And I just really like the makeup of this Alabama team. They defend when they need to defend. They've got multiple options. Herb Jones makes clutch shots. John Petty, we know what he can do. Jaden Shackelford's actually their leading scorer. And the freshman, Josh Primo, really coming on strong. So give me the Crimson Tide at Kentucky unless the Cats try to steal the game the way Northern Iowa tried to steal Bradley last night with the shot clock thing late in the contest, where they didn't start the clock on time and they had to actually go to the stopwatch to go ahead and validate Bradley's victory. Give me Alabama plus the points. And Ralph, the top 3 prospects in America right now are Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley from USC, and Jalen Suggs, who might move up to number 1 from Gonzaga.
Yeah, you got a couple D-League guys too, and I'm all okay with that. Cade Cunningham, I understand, but Rob talked about it. When you watch him, he doesn't look like a number 1 pick to me. Trust me, I understand he's going to be a lottery pick, but he does not pass the Ralph eye test on January 12th.
Before or after the 8 Miller Lite?
Thank you, Vino.
Well,
thank you very much.
Eight's just to get me to the level. Come on, Rob.
That's just to get the nether 8 rolling in there. I'm going to pick on, much like the Gold Sheet there picks on St. Joe's, I'm picking on my University of Miami Hurricanes here. I'm willing to bet there is no way in God's green earth either of these 2 teams reach 70 damn points. I'm going the under here. Boston College, University of Miami, still without likes. I think McGusty's also out. BC's got an injury, too. They don't play. This ain't going to happen. I don't think when's the last time Miami even scored over 65 points? So I'm going to take the under 143 University of Miami on the road against BC. And let's recap them for you here, guys. If you're just joining us, I know we've got them somewhere in there. Davison is going to be your Gold Sheet play of the day. They absolutely they like Davison this thing, and Tony Mejia supports that. Ralph Michaels going in about because he thanks for giving everyone enough heads up here too, Ralph. Akron, Northern Illinois starts in about 3 minutes, so go ahead there under 134.5. Rob Vino's got 3.5 points. He'll take them. Wisconsin on the road. In Ann Arbor, Alabama, Tony Mejia, a lot of dogs on this, guys. Love this. Alabama +3. I'm going the under in Miami, Boston College, and we told you, of course, Davidson, definitely not going with a dog there. -14. They'll go ahead and lay it out as our friends with the Gold Sheet. Quick reminder, NBA tip-off show coming your way here in just about 20 minutes or so, just before the top of the hour. Make sure, I heard Tony Finn might be on the show today.
He was
Might
asking
remember,
today.
I don't know.
Am I on the show today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends
And
on
Joe,
when that Xanax kicks in.
You're
Go ahead.
supposed to phrase it like this, guys. There are awesome benefits to watching the college basketball tip-off show live, including getting Ralph's best bet, which tips off in just 30 minutes.
Sorry, I got
That's
threw up in
ample
my mouth
time,
a little
ample
there.
time.
Yeah, plenty of time. Yeah, plenty of time. No problem. But there is still plenty of time for you guys to head over to WagerTalk.com right now. Grab the 30 days all access. That's right, $199. Get any one of their plays for 30 days, whether it be NBA or college basketball. Get them right now for $199, including Ralph's. 3 minutes to go before you have to make the bet plays. You can get those right now, $199 at WagerTalk.com. 30 days, all access, guys. Everything basketball from these gentlemen. On behalf of Tony Mejia, Rob Vino, hope we didn't scare you away. Hope you'll come back. My neighbor downstairs, Mr. Ralph Michaels, splitting hairs. I'm Joe Raineri. Guys, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Subscribe to the page. Come back and join us tomorrow. We'll do it all over again, and I believe it's going to be Dave Koken's birthday tomorrow as well. So special edition. Ralph's going to sing. Tony's going to sing. Rob's going to blow up balloons. It's going to be really a fun show. Come and join us tomorrow. Best of luck with your bets tonight, guys. We'll talk to you again then.
On behalf of everyone at Wager Talk Media, we would love to wish the legend himself, Mr. Dave Koken, a happy 68th birthday. Dave turned 68 on Wednesday, but in typical Vegas fashion, we're celebrating for a whole week. Until Sunday at midnight, you can celebrate with the legend himself by getting 10 days of Dave Koken's picks for only $68 by using coupon code LEGEND68 at WagerTalk.com. Happy birthday, Dave!